Good morning. I'm really enjoying being with you and the ways that we can unpack the yamas and the niyamas. I don't record our post-class conversation. I'm stopping the recording before that. But I did want to thank those of you who stayed after class these last couple of times where we were talking about, we had a really good question last Thursday about the phrases, suffering is resistance to what is. Therefore, freedom from suffering is radically accepting what is. And wisdom in relationship to suffering is acting in accordance with what you know to be true about what is. And then a couple of days ago, we were discussing after class, one of the translations of Asteya is not taking that which doesn't belong to us, not taking that which hasn't been given to us, not taking that which isn't ours to have. And one way that we translated that translation was not doing the work of others that is theirs to do, their internal work or their healing work or their work on their own karma. And therefore, not backing away from them, but not, we call it jumping the net, not jumping the net to play their side of the volley in tennis, for example. And I had asked, maybe you could reflect on that for a couple of days and we'll see what simmers in that regard. And I think these two phrases are connected. Sometimes suffering is resisting what is. We want something to be different in ourselves or someone else. Freedom from suffering is radically accepting what is, even in ourselves or in someone else or in the weather, for example. And then wisdom is acting with what we know to be true about what is. And that's something that we have to orient inside. Like, I know it to be true about myself that I might like to overhelp. I might like to pad somebody from their own discomfort to prevent them from feeling badly, even though I might do that and prevent their growth. But do I know about myself that I can kind of hold space for that person's discomfort, be there, be present, be witness to allow their unfolding, support it, let them go through the stages of maybe denial, confusion, insight, grief, remorse, action, whatever the stages are for them. Can I do that in support of someone else's process? I'm not stealing their opportunity from them. Asteya, I'm not taking it from them. That's also going to free us up to do what is ours to do inside. Why are we uncomfortable with somebody else's journey or their discomfort or the pain that they're in? Now, sometimes it's appropriate if we're in a parenting role, we have to update these words to, or, tailor them to that circumstance, because there are stages of development for children where we have to be their inner guide. We have to help them discover that. They don't yet have it established. So please keep that consideration. Anyway, these are reflections that are on my mind. And we'll take those reflections into our sitting practice now, and then see what's next. Let me just get this sorted out. Yeah. Okay, so please take a comfortable seat and you can rest your hands in your lap. I do wish we could be in the same room because we would feel each other in a more visceral way. But of course, it would require so much for some of you are coming in from Alaska, Florida, or Massachusetts. So let's see if we could feel each other's company in this brave pursuit, the bravery of being a yogi. And begin to open to the breath, allowing it into your body, which might mean reduce any resistance to the breath coming in. Acknowledge any places of tightness or habitual tension. To the place in you that wants to give yourself the most full opportunity for this practice to be one that's nourishing and awakening from within. So set aside distractions and raise your standards or your expectations. Don't say, may I just feel better in my hamstrings. You could say, may I be transformed in my whole being. Not, may I have less shoulder tension. We do hope for that, but let's reach beyond that. Please raise your hands to your heart. This morning, let's chant the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Bhuva Svaha. We can begin. Om Bhur Bhuva Svaha. Tat Savitor Varenyam. Argo Devasyari Mohi. Diyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Svaha. Tat Savitor Varenyam. Argo Devasyari Mohi. Diyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Bhurva Svaha. Tat Savitor Varenyam. Argo Devasyari Mohi. Diyo Yona Prachodayata. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. For exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Please open your eyes. I'd like you to have a yoga strap for the class and I have to put the cat treats aside. If they come back in, they might start hunkering for those and I'll have to change it, but please get a yoga strap and rise up to standing. We're going to be working with the neck and the shoulders a bit again. The yoga strap is sometimes a cat toy, so I have to go looking for it. Okay, so making a loop in the strap, I'd like you to make it so it's shoulder width, so that when you put your wrists in here, your arms are parallel, like that. Okay, and my arms are going to go off the screen, but they'll still be there. So let's inhale, raise the arms up. I like to personally avoid having the strap hang in my face, so I put it on the top and it's behind one of my arms, then behind the head. And so as you're breathing in here, as you're sensing this, Listen for the inner plumb line in your body and your breath. Root the tailbone down and make the breath sound smooth. Let's bring awareness to where the inhale and the exhale are touching the upper back of the throat. So that'll be your primary mental focus. You will have the extra brain cells and body intelligence to navigate the physical asana. But let's put the aperture of attention right there behind the nasal passageways in the upper back of the throat. And I'm going to ask you to bend your elbows, catch the strap with your hands. You can pull it down behind your head like this. Squeeze the elbows wide, hug the shoulder blades in. Place the strap at the base of the skull. And as you lift up, lean very slightly back. Again, with the tailbone rooted, when you lean back, make it a back bend of the upper back and the heart. And then exhale, bring your torso upright. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then float both arms forward and down. And if you got lucky and your strap came over your shoulder like that, then you can just drop both arms and the strap will hang there. Release the breath, but keep your attention at the upper back of the throat. Take the strap part of the strap, not the loop of the strap. Take both arms forward, raise them up, sweep your arms apart, and bring the strap down with the appropriate distance between your hands for your shoulders. If your strap is too short, get a longer one, or also tie it with a second strap, or use your bathrobe sash if that's longer. But as you reach back like this, keep the tailbone rooted down and the back waist more broad, so it's not more arched. Stretch back with both arms, like the chest were a sail on a ship. And in that process, again, place your awareness. The breath is moving. You can use Ujjayi. Place your awareness in the upper back of the throat. Loosen one hand or both on the strap and let it slide as you go down. And again, completely release the arms. Also relax any effort in the breath. Take the strap loop behind you. Bring your palms to face each other. Roll the shoulders back. Squeeze the arms back. And as you squeeze back again, it's like a little back bend in the heart. So raise up, root the tailbone down, like a little standing back bend. And even tip your heart up, your throat can open. Lay your head back without losing tone in the neck muscles on the front. Now come upright, bend your knees, take the hips back and glide your torso down and float the arms overhead. Let's press out against the strap with your wrists, please, and squeeze the shoulder blades up away from your neck towards your hips. And notice the breath in the upper back of the throat. So see if you might begin, as we did a couple weeks ago and since then, to notice one place in the back of the throat while the breath is moving over that spot, as if you're watching a rock over which the river is moving. And then with your inhale, rise up to standing. Catch the strap in one hand and then let both arms dangle. And that place in the upper back of the throat might be relatively still now because the air, when we're not making the breath happen, it might become very subtle. And then take the loop of the strap, last one here. Reach up so that your right hand is facing across the midline. And that means that your elbow and your tricep are turning in towards the midline. Hold the strap with one hand behind and one arm up. So let's do right arm up and the left hand is behind holding the strap. I really like this one. So when you're pressing with the strap behind you, root the tailbone, raise up through the heart and start feeling into a back bend for the heart. You may also open the throat. It's kind of an action of back bending that raises our vitality, our commitment, our sense of optimism, or even courage. And so breathe in as you root down into your feet, raise up with your heart. And then inhale, rise up, and let's float the right arm forward and down. And switch sides. So left hand up in the strap. Okay, with the left arm vertical to start, reach back and hold the strap with your right hand. As you glide back with the right arm, pull on the strap, make the left arm strong. And then whatever flexibility you have in the heart, so don't steal the upper back flexibility, your awareness of it, by doing some compensation somewhere else. So if we're asking for the heart to do the back bend, the lower back does not take away that opportunity by compensating. And then inhale, rise up, release your yoga strap, let the arms dangle. Okay, let's keep the strap nearby and take a wide stance, please. In my frame of view, I know that you guys can't see this, but in front of me, there is like a curtain hanging. It's not a curtain, it's like a, a couch cover kind of thing. It's hanging over this small futon that's right here. And it's got this much space between the floor and the thing. And underneath, all I can see is a black tip nose, with a little bit of white around it. So I know that my mini panda is under there. And one paw is sticking out part way. And I don't think that she thinks that I can see her. She's watching, but her eyes are not visible to me. Anyhow, reach back to interlace your fingers, please. Roll the shoulders back. Now, if clasping the hands here is hard, go back to using your strap. By all means, give yourself the support you need. And please come down to parsvakonasana. Now, if the hamstrings feel a little bit stiff or your hips are a little bit tight right now, go ahead and bend the knees and energize your leg muscles. Bring some heat and circulation there. And as you inhale, using the Ujjayi breath, raise your chest and heart very slightly forward. And as you exhale, bow deeply towards your legs. This movement is coming from your pelvis, rotating over your thighs. And then we add the upper back and the head. So you inhale, glide forward, lift the base of your skull, the back of your shoulders, the spine, the pelvis rotates. And exhale to bow towards the legs, starting with your pelvis. So your lower back is not the fulcrum for this movement. When you inhale, glide forward by first lifting the base of the skull, the back of the shoulders, energize the hamstrings, and exhale to bow over the legs. Release your hands and arms now. and walk them forward. It's totally fine to put blocks under your hands if you would prefer that, or you can just simply walk your fingers forward on the floor. And let's get really still in the physical pose, please, and come into the Ujjayi breath once more. Awareness in the upper back of the throat. Please walk your hands back to your hips and rise up to standing. Heel toe to center. Go ahead and step in. You could ask yourself what it means to not take someone else's opportunity from them. What would it mean not to take that which doesn't belong to you, that which hasn't been given to you, that which is not yours? And then please turn to the front of your yoga mat with your two blocks. And again, keep your strap close by so it's within reach right now. Join your hands at your heart. Using the Ujjayi sound, but place your focus in the upper back of the throat in one spot, like you're watching a river moving over the same rock. The breath is coming and going. Put your focus on the sensations in the geographical spot right behind the breath. And inhale, take the hands down, palms forward, raise up. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, twist right. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, descend. Keep the inner arches, inner thighs, and legs stable. Inhale, glide forward. Bend your knees, left toes back. Inhale, twist right. Exhale, level into airplane pose. Without resting on your right thigh. Inhale, rise up to crescent. Exhale, open the arms wide. Palms face up. Palms face down, clasp your hands behind your back. And then inhale, roll the shoulders back and raise your heart up. to your right heel. And as you exhale, keep the legs really stable. Bring your torso forward over your right thigh. Without resting on your thigh, can you glide down sort of to the inside of the right thigh? Take the arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release your hands down to the two blocks. Press firmly into your blocks and inhale to plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. And then seal pose, step over 1 foot at a time. There's the structure of your seal pose. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward dog. And exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, level that off to airplane pose. So you have to use the left outer hip to do that. And then inhale, rise up to your crescent. Exhale, arms wide, palms face up. Exhale, palms face down, clasp your fingers. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, raise up. And keeping your awareness in the upper back of the throat, glide your torso forward, raise your arms up as you bow your head. Come to the inside edge of your left thigh. You might gaze back at your right foot. And then exhale, place your hands firmly on the blocks. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward dog pose. Inhale, plank. Step over your feet, come to seal pose. In other words, point the toes. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Now exhale, right foot forward, please. Touch your left knee down to the floor. Inhale, rise up to anjaneyasana. Let's see if we can hold steady in anjaneyasana for the next several breath cycles. So press into your right heel. Energize your right hamstring and outer hip. Zip the pubic bone up as you press your left knee down. Lift up out of the pelvic basin so you're not darkening the lower back by creasing at the bottom of the rib cage. Raise up through your heart. Look up. And exhale, arms wide. Go ahead and lightly touch the blocks with your fingertips. And inhale, straighten both legs. Glide your hips back. And then bow the torso over your right thigh. And in this position, when you're bowing the torso over, think of it as like a gesture of inwardness or humility, maybe even surrender. What would it mean not to take that which has not been given to you or that which is not yours, that which would belong to someone else? Inhale, raise your torso forward. Go ahead and return to your fingertips. Bend your right knee. And let's step the left foot forward. In breath, out breath, right foot back. Touch your right knee down and come into anjaneyasana. Rise up. With your attention in the upper back of the throat, you just give like an eyelash amount of attention to the other fine points in the pose. So without the mind being really dynamic about it, just give a little check to the left pinky toe, left heel, left hamstring, outer hip, the pubic bone, the inner belly, the back waist, the diaphragm, the heart. Now sweep the arms wide and lightly touch the two blocks. Curl your right toes under if you haven't yet, and straighten both legs. And then bow over your left thigh. Even though I could fully touch the floor with my hands, there's a feeling when you press into the blocks and the elbows are bent, you kind of get to broaden the upper back a bit here. You can be firm with the hands against the blocks. And then inhale, bend your left knee, bring your torso forward, come up to your fingertips, and float your right foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, upward hands pose. And exhale, hands to the heart. Release both hands as you're ready to. And I'd like us to pick up the yoga strap and do a little bit of work with that in a couple standing poses. So if you can put the small loop in the strap, you know how we had one hand, the other hand was pulling on the strap. If you have a short strap, you can make your loop small enough that just your hand fits in there like this. Then you'll have whatever you have remaining to use. Okay, so let's take a wide stance. And in your wide stance, make that about one leg length. And put the strap in your left hand. Like this. All right, turn your right foot to the right. Turn the left heel slightly out, so it's just a little angle on the left heel. Sweep the arms wide. And exhale, bend your right knee like warrior two. Exhale, place your right forearm on your right thigh. And sweep the left arm overhead past your ear and reach for the strap right here. And I'd like you to put some tension on the strap. So you have to press the back of your left hand up into the strap to straighten your arm to make it meaningful. So the right hand has this responsibility to hold steady, but not to overpower the left arm. Press down into your left heel as you press the back of your left hand up into the strap. And then come into the Ujjayi breath. And you're in your position. This is your meditation seat. Notice how you orient your attention. What is the shape of the breath? And are you able to keep that sort of single pointed focus in the upper back of the throat? And then with an exhale, so wait for your exhale to come. With the exhale, raise your left arm, raise your torso, rise up to center. And then right foot in, left foot out. I, of course, have a 10-foot strap, so it's twice my length, twice my height. Take the right heel out and put the strap in your right hand. Okay, inhale, arms wide. Bend your left knee. Exhale, bring your left arm down. Right arm overhead. You need the strap to go. I would recommend that it goes behind you. I have so much strap. I would recommend it's behind you and reach for it with your left hand. Press up with the right hand against the strap, the back of your right hand. Press into your right heel. And of course, you're making some dynamic sensations. So sometimes that'll feel really compelling to the mind. It'll send like an envoy out there to go explore those sensations, like an ambassador goes to visit the sensations at the right hip. But see if you could keep your mind mostly focused in the upper back of the throat. The pressure of the right arm up should not be overpowered by the stability the left hand is providing the strap. You're not trying to pull your right hand down. You're just giving it a closed chain, we call it. And then with an exhale, raise up and relax both arms. Make your feet parallel. And just pause and feel what's happening now. Let's see if we can explore that same concept in triangle pose. I just managed to squish my loop into nothing. Just a second. Okay, so in triangle pose, let's take the blocks as we were doing a couple days ago where they're pretty tall. I'm going to want your hand that's there to be able to stabilize, and it's going to be holding the tail of the strap once you get into position. So turn the left heel back, turn the right foot forward. I'm going to recommend these blocks are closer to your foot, not farther in. For some of you, you could put them behind your ankle if that's your preference. Okay, left arm gets the strap. Inhale the arms wide. And exhale, tone from your left low belly to your left heel. And inhale, come down to your right. Once you get the strap, I'm going to ask you to hold it with your right hand. Take the left arm past your left ear and press up into the strap with the back of your left hand. So I've put the strap under my right palm on the blocks, which is quite satisfying. I don't have to hold it with my fingers. Press into your left heel. You might get to discover your left outer hip or the left iliacus, which is a muscle inside the ilium bone related to your psoas. Let's see if you could focus your awareness back into the upper back of the throat, trusting your body intelligence in all other areas to coordinate and collaborate. Releasing the strap from under your right hand. Let's exhale, rise up. Using the exhale means you have to root into your back leg on the way up. And then go ahead and reach for the blocks to change them to the other side. So right foot in, left foot out, right heel slightly back. You can see that there. And then your two blocks, please. Might be taller than you normally do it, and I appreciate your willingness to explore it that way. So right hand in the strap. I'm going to get mine behind me because I have so much strap. Okay. So inhale the arms wide. Exhale, right low belly, right hip, right glutes, right heel. And then please inhale, come down. Place the strap under your left hand. Press the back of your right hand up with your arm past your ear. So what we're addressing here is the side waist. And in some cases, you will feel into the right outer hip or the right inner belly. Press up with your right hand against the back of the strap. Be aware not to overreach or overstride. The hips don't need to sashay forward. You could imagine that you're keeping the left outer hip in line with the left outer heel and the right outer hip rooting down to the right outer heel. And with an exhale, rise up. Release your hands and arms. Make your feet parallel. You can scooch the blocks so they're not in your way. And then go heel, toe, heel, toe in. And let's put this aside. And come to mountain pose. What's moving in you, what's alive right now, and also what feels still. I think it's possible that you might feel there's extra vitality in the body, and maybe the mind is more still, rather than the head and the thoughts spinning and the body feeling sedentary or lethargic. Reach for a chair to bring onto your mat, and you'll want a block for this as well. And you might want to pad your chair if you have, like in my case, this is a very firm metal chair. You'll need one block, and I'm going to pad my chair with one of my blankets. We're going to be in this position for a bit, so I do recommend the padding. We're also going to use the chair seat for the upper back, and we'll want padding for that too. So there we go. So we're going to be placing the upper arm on the chair, and you go past the elbow, so you're really kind of on the tricep here. To do that, we're also going to put a block between the hands like this. So my chair is a little bit close to the space behind me, so let me scooch it forward. Place your block between your hands, place the elbows, and let's start by seeing, could you come down with the hips like you're doing child's pose? So you're pretty close to the chair, except that your head is on the front of the chair and the elbows are up on the chair. Except for that, you've got your legs and hips moving towards child's pose. This is going to at first be, for some of you, like a mild opening in the upper back and the side chest. But for all of us, I hope that it's a chance for the breath to return into the pelvis and the belly. Notice the air moving through the back of the throat while your mind stays in one place there. Scoot your knees back. The hips will not make it to the heels now. I mean, they might, but if your feet are flat, the hips are not touching the heels. And scooch the knees back until you get the knees back behind and underneath your hips there so that you are in table pose with the lower body. So that should have increased the opening in the chest and the shoulders and the side waist. Notice if you've caused the lower back to arch. Is the lower back stealing a responsibility from the upper back? Is the upper back allowing for that? And some of you are going to be able to turn your palms on the block. You can turn your palms to face towards your head. So you'll be on the pinky finger side of the hand. And then scoot your knees forward, rise up with your torso, set the block on the chair just for storage. Release your arms, rest your hands in your lap. That particular position is a preparatory position for lots of yoga poses. But I think of it as a preparatory position for headstand, the headstand you do when your arms go like this. We won't be doing that headstand right now because I can't see you all well enough on Zoom. And also this position for lots of people, if I was on the floor, it would be all level because the height of my arm and the height of my head are the same. But for some people, their arms are higher than their head, or their arms are not as high as the head. And that has to all be accounted for. So it's a little bit complicated in an online class like this, but that is a preparatory position towards headstand. It can also be helpful for handstand or for full back bend because you're looking at this opening through here. Let's use this edge of the chair now for the upper back. You can take a seat on a block. Sometimes people sit on 2 blocks side by side. That is okay too. Lay the upper back on the edge of the chair. So the bottom of the shoulder blades are right there where the edge of the chair is. And then you're going to pick up the hips. And then based on your comfort level and the chair you have, place your hands inside the arms of the chair to hold the back of the seat of the chair with your palms facing towards your head. The thumbs are pointing out. Now keeping the shoulders placed where they are, begin to slowly lower your hips down. When you start to sense any tension in your face or your throat, or if the chin starts to get pulled up towards the ceiling, those would be signs that you've reached your threshold and you ought to be pausing. Going past those signs would mean you're stealing an opportunity for awakening or discovery in the upper back. If the neck compensates, the upper back doesn't get to learn or reveal itself to you. Now raise your hips back up just to the height of the knees, lengthen the spine. Release your arms from the chair. This is also a good warm-up pose for headstand. Right now, let's take the arms out to the side. And then you can hold your head with one hand if you like and touch your hips down to the blocks. Rise up. Come forward. Okay. Well, as you are up here, we're in position. Let's bring the left arm around the 2 knees. You can put them together like in child's pose and twist to your right. Holding both knees here means that you are going to focus your thoracic rotation, not lumbar rotation. So roll your right shoulder back, and as you're twisting, think about the thoracic spine being the primary source of twisting right now, not the lumbar spine. And then exhale around to face forward. Wrap your right arm around your knees. Twist through the thoracic spine to your left. So the twist is in the thoracic spine and the heart. And then exhale, come around to face forward. Okay, now you have a chair and you have two blocks, and I'd like us to do a restorative version of Shavasana with the two blocks. And then for those who like, you can set the two blocks aside. So put them near to the chair that you can reach for them, and then lie on your back with your shins up on the chair seat. So the blocks on the medium setting with a little diamond shape, like a triangle shape of the two blocks under the back of the sacrum, so that you basically have support at the outer edge of the sacrum. Now, when you get this here, then see if you can bring the knees in so that your legs are momentarily going to hover like this, and you've got the sacrum resting between the two sides of the blocks. Tuck the shoulder blades under. I should have said that sooner. This little hover right now is kind of a reset for the craniosacral rhythm, your circulation, which is your circulation is coming back towards your head right now. If you have the hamstring flexibility for it, you can take the legs up straight. So this is like candlestick pose. Rest your mind in the upper back of the throat. Touch the chair seat with your feet. Raise your hips, make the blocks flat, and place them again on the triangle of the sacrum. And this time, take your legs out over the chair. You can even put the feet through the back of the chair if you like. This is also a good time to cover up with your blanket if you prefer that. Sometimes it's nice even just to do the lower body. It's a very chilly morning in Portland. Some wind and ice in the back of the house here. So Vata is still with us. Nice to cover up with a blanket. I know that you're not all in Portland. And when you rest now, let the sacrum levitate between the two blocks. Relax your heart between the shoulder blades. Rest your mind back behind the two nasal passageways in the upper back of the throat. yourself to rest really deeply. Both the body and the mind can become very still. If you prefer not to have the blocks under your hips now, you could take them out, otherwise you can keep them there. Now lightly wiggle the fingers and your toes. And bring your knees towards your chest, even if you still have your hips on the blocks. It's helpful to move the blocks before you roll down sideways from the position. And let's return to sitting or meditation. Your seat, use the kind of support that you need. I like 2 blankets stacked, and I put them right at the base of my sacrum and tailbone. So I'm actually not sitting on them, but they're right under the lowest part of the tailbone and the sacrum. That might be helpful for some of you to consider because it keeps the pelvis more upright. And then rest your hands in your lap. Place your awareness in the upper back of the throat. And raise your right hand for Nadi Shodhana. Everyone will be at their own pace. We begin with inhale left. We'll end with exhale left. But in the meantime, I'd like you to do 3 rounds of Nadi Shodhana slowly. That means it's 6 breath cycles. breath smooth and your awareness in the place behind the nasal passageways in the throat. You complete 6 breath cycles, 3 rounds of Nadi Shodhana. Then you can rest your hands back in your lap. And keep the mind near to that spot in the upper back of the throat, but move it up to the place between the eyebrows. So near to, but moving upwards, inside. You might have like a little mantra or a little prayer. May I see clearly today what is mine. May I see clearly what I leave to others, not taking that which is not mine, not being given to me or doesn't belong to me. Your mind to be very still, even though there's wind outside for some of us. The mind can be still even if there's wind somewhere in the life. With your hands to your heart. May we speak clearly. May we speak clearly. May we love clearly. May we have this inner clarity as we practice ahimsa, satya, asteya. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Close the recording.